is there a need for a formal education in sound engineering? Is it necessary for a programmer or for a music director to have a knowledge in sound engineering?
It certainly pays to have formal education in either sound engineering or in music, especially in music and sound engineering, because till you don't have your foundation right, you will be only building on other people's comments about stuff, or you will be talking about, or you will be running on your gut, and so always definitely better to have formal education.
Okay. Listening to your songs and the music that you guys create, like programming is always on a top-notch level, but what are the platforms do you guys prefer to work on?
You mean software?
The DAWs?
Well, we started off working on keyboard sequences.
Actually.
And much before that, we've actually been playing live with an orchestra and all that. So we are coming all the way back from that time. Okay, when there was no sequencer at all. So for us, we've actually been, I hate to blow my own horn, but we've been pioneers when it comes to new softwares and DAWs. And we started off with keyboard sequencers, moving on to Cubase, and then finally started with Logic. Because Logic is really, for MIDI, it's the thing. Yeah. I mean, also for audio, but we prefer working on Nuendo for audio because for the longest time we've been doing movie scores, and Nuendo is one place which actually software which used to handle multiple clips, video clips at that point. So when you're working on different films, but now Pro Tools and everyone does. So when you're working on a movie, reel 1, reel 2, reel 3, that could have video clips, multiple video clips, and that's why Nuendo. And Nuendo also is fantastic, a fantastic audio workstation. And I always lacked MIDI earlier. Now it's getting its act together with Cubase SX.
More of MIDI in the industry now.
So it's great to have a combination of Logic and Nuendo first.
So, especially one question for you, I have been looking and watching you on the TV, television with your keyboard, even in Indian Idol, you just sit with your keyboard. What's the reason behind it? Why do you use a keyboard?
During auditions, what used to happen is sometimes we would, just to check how intense and how good the artist the participant who we were selecting, we had to actually test him completely. If we give him a different key, and can he catch it? Can he play with chords? Can he actually, whatever. So sometimes it was nice to have the keyboards during the audition process because, many a times a singer would just come who's completely mugged his song and sung and done a great job with it, and so just to sort of see how deep are the waters.
Play with his talent.
No, we would just give him a song and make him sing with us and just see how he expresses only with the keyboard. So that was the only motive.
Okay. So you guys have been doing background scores, soundtracks, and even you are in light. So looking at all the three of them, what is the thing that you prefer the most?
In terms of?
Interest,
excitement. Live obviously, because you're right there in front of all your fans and all your audiences, and you're playing out to people. It's a short thing, but it definitely gives you the most amount of hype.
All these years we made music. We've only made music in the studio, and for so many years it's just been a great experience cherishing these, making these amazing songs. And now it's time to cherish and enjoy it. And it's fabulous. That's why we prefer doing things live, because when we perform live, we play out these songs and we see all the fruits.
It's
of
instant
our hard
reactions.
work.
It's instant.
It's an audio
It's okay. Okay. So, Bollywood has completed 100 years now. So, what do you guys want to say on that, and who are your inspirations and your best music directors out of them?
For me, it's always been Madan Mohan.
Okay.
He's composed songs like Lag Ja Gale. He's composed songs like Dil Toota Hai.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many. Oh my God, I'm just getting Tum Jo Mil Gaye Ho, Ye Jo Jahan Mil Gaya. And something about his songs, like his songs Ras Mein Ulfat, they were not just compositions for a film or for. They were just eternal songs. They were so deep. They were so challenging for any singer, any music director, any composer to even like understand the complexity of the. I mean, there have been a lot of composers who make songs for the audience and for interesting. Madan Mohan made songs from his heart. I felt like he was, and I think the new generation really, of course, has been away from all this old stuff. But if ever somebody listens to this interview or whatever, and if you actually dig out songs of Madan Mohan and you hear the intensity of the compositions, he's maestro. Never got his worth, but because he was so beyond his time, he was so far ahead of his time, that he actually was never given his glory.
So, like you guys have your own studio.
What about best music composer?
I mean, your views on that?
Go ahead, next question.
Okay, like you guys have your own studio. So, how do you guys figure out, just like that you said, Radhan and Pranati Jodi, where you guys recorded at Yash Raj. So, I have the same question with Shantanu sir as well. How do you guys coordinate, like you record in your studio or at Yash Raj?
See, it's knowing, like you asked, whether formal education is important. At that point, there was no need for formal education because or there was no place to get formal education. But we learned on the move, and we pretty much picked up every single board, every single piece of studio there is. So wherever we go, we are very familiar and happy to be able to work. Like we started in analog, we started with 4-track mixers and 4-track recorders. So working on Pro Tools or working on Nuendo or working on Logic, for us is the same thing. It doesn't really make a difference. So even if we move that side, we move to Yash Raj with a full Pro Tools setup or whatever, it doesn't make any difference.
And just for the record, we don't work with Shantanu, we work with Vijay.
Okay.
No, he's talking about Shantanu Mohitra.
No.
Oh, Shantanu
Budlika.
Oh,
Ultra doesn't work with Yash Raj. Hardly that.
Acha.
Okay, so like now there are many YouTube celebrities coming up with their own independent music, original covers. So, what do you guys have to want to give a say on this?
I think it's a fantastic time because there are a lot of artists who don't really need a record label or a movie or a setup to do their music. Today you can just write a great song, make a smallish video, an intimate video, inexpensive on a D5 or any other camera which has film quality like this one, and shoot a video and put it on YouTube or even on the iPhone or any other phone.
See, as long as you can hit the market, be known, and become popular and viral, that is the most important thing, because at the end of the day, your music label finally just does, at the end of the day, it only does digital, right?
Yeah, right.
Because physical sales are completely gone.
Actually.
And so the only market which is available to an independent artist is the digital medium, which is either your callback tunes or your ringback tones, and even that is predominantly Bollywood music. So the only channel that you're left with is basically hitting your digital industry, getting eyeballs, getting popular, and getting concerts where you can actually make your money.
I think you, me, and all of us are really, really fortunate to be living this time, because this time is really, really special. I know people who don't watch TV and actually are on their iPads or iPhones and using YouTube, checking YouTube on their computers and laptops. So this is a brilliant time. I mean, how else would an artist today, if you actually see the news or you see any MTV, you're waiting for your video, whereas here you can actually click your own video and check it out or Facebook it, and it's amazing. I mean, today a student learning in a college or whatever, making music, studying film or music or anything like that, can make his or her own demo and just post it and have the whole world watch it. It's how easy and how lovely is it. It is. It used to be really difficult at one point, where you're trying to struggle getting a good filmmaker, spend at least 10 lakhs to make a video, and beg MTV or Channel V to play and stuff like that. Like, you know, so I mean, it's easy right now. Today we make a great video on YouTube, and MTV will beg you
Actually, the same thing.
to please play. So it's a fantastic time.
So like you just that you guys said you guys love performing live. Is that the same way when you guys record something? Just that the MIDI serves the purpose, or you guys still feel the need that we need to record an instrument or percussion live?
We build the skeleton on MIDI, and if it's, let's say, an electronic song or like a dance song, then there's not too much. But when you're doing a song which has an orchestra, then we go out there and record the orchestra.
Is there a director's grid which is very,
It depends. There is a grid created by people, and that grid can be broken by people. And we are always outside the grid. 80% of the time we are outside the grid. The only time we come into the grid is when we have to create songs which have that pressure that it has to become a popular song, it has to be a hit. There's a lot of marketing money that is being spent only on this song because this is the first look of the film. This is going to be our marketing campaign. All that stuff, and then you still try to break out of the grid, but ultimately you have to come back in the safe zone of a grid to, not for ourselves, but for the producer and the record label to be okay, acha nahi, this kind of song I do understand and I'm willing to bet my money on this song.
And then of course, we've been working for the past 2 decades in this industry, and so we know that there are directors and then there are filmmakers.
Right.
So you figure out the difference, and we know the difference. There are directors who basically have a setup, who want to do a successful film, and there are filmmakers who want to make a film. So we know how much to give and how much to take.
Like, are you guys planning to work on some new upcoming item numbers? Do you guys believe in that kind of a music? Because
it's now not a matter of belief or not believing. We know that a popular song sells.
Let me ask the same question to you. What do you think of this song, Ewe Ewe Lodiya from Band Baja Bharat? Do you think it was a fun song? Was it a situational song? Have you seen the movie Band Baja Bharat?
Yeah.
Do you think it was a fun song? Was it a situational song, or was it an item song?
It was fun according to me, and as well as a situational song.
And an item song?
I don't think so.
But what is an item song?
But it was the first look of the film. It
From
was a
that
marketing.
particular term, item song, I mean that way.
There were like 58 girls dancing and...
No, yeah, I mean group of
But there were
dance.
58 girls
No,
dancing.
I'm not saying that. Like Chikni, Chameli, Munni, Badnaam, typical that वो एक kind of a UP Bihar की language use करना. And you just...
But इसमें भी तो दिल्ली वाली
दिल्ली ना, ठीक है. That is fun. That is
It's
why
the same
it's fun. UP Bihar.
See,
Why is
Answering-
UP so different from
Delhi.
Delhi?
Answering
It's
your
not-
question.
I am from UP. I know that thing.
Okay,
but-
answering your question.
Yeah.
Answering your question is, it's important to make a good song.
Yeah.
Now, whether the filmmaker may come to you and say, "Oh, item C, मेरे को ये चाहिए, मेरे को वो चाहिए, मेरे को whatever." For you, you have to create your own piece world, right, and make a good song. Right. If you have to take away that whole baggage of item, popular, hit, this, that. Once you can take away that baggage and make a great song, whether it fits into the item category or a popular category or situational category, if it's a good hit song, it will always be a hit song. If it's made with love and whatever. Sometimes, of course, things go wrong. I mean, we made a song called Harkat Jawani for heroin. So before you can answer, let me just defend myself. That song was created as an item song, as a separate thing altogether. But it worked for the movie because it had a performance in an award function done by a big hero. So it needed that. It was a kind of like a spoof.
It was like a movie within a movie.
Within a movie, So it was done like that, and so it was. We had to, sort of create that moment. But apart from that, like, if someone tells me, okay, we have Malaika Sherawat and an item song and whatever, we create a song like a dance bar song, like a song which is shot in a film, in a club, on this thing. Now we are not thinking about how much Malaika is going to expose, or how much is she going to shake or move, or whatever. That's, if you get into that sort of dirty thing, then you can never make a good song. Yeah?
Exactly.
So it's important to forget that baggage and make a good song.
Exactly.
That's how you deal with situations like that.
Okay.
Now,
Perfect
there's a
answer to
lot
my
of
question.
songs also, like films do not have songs now, they're looking at background scoring, which has become very important. So do you think this kind of challenges you, or does it excite you, this foray of Indian films into, I mean, songless films, so to say? You know,
We've always done
We've
songs.
always done, yeah. The first film that we did was Booth, which was
So
completely
it's always-
songless.
Okay. So does this do you find this challenging? Do you think it will change the industry where we might, because we're watching so much of Hollywood films?
See, there is two different mediums in this. There is the film with songs, which becomes way more popular because you have marketing material and blah 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 blah,
And stars.
and stars and lip sync on the songs and people dancing and 100,000 girls behind you, and the song becomes popular and it creates an additional revenue stream. And then you have films like Wednesday, which have no songs and still becomes popular. So it depends on what genre of film you are talking about. And both are very, very popular. Both are completely treated differently. There's two different. One is almost like a docu reality kind of zone. One is your typical Bollywood film. Both work. Both have different numbers. It's a numbers game at the end of it. So.
Okay, so you score for background as well and you perform live. So when you score for background, you tend to move audience visually with the sound, to move the audience with the sound. And when you perform live, because I've seen you live in Exambi this year, so it's a huge Exambi Bhubaneswar. So it's a huge leap from me from the audience to here. So I've seen you like move the crowd. So if we had a voting system where people could vote on the way they were moved by the favorite stars, would you think would you be the monarchs today?
That's a difficult question for us to say, yeah, we are the best.
Now, what do you feel? How does it
But
feel
see,
to
I tell you
actually
what,
exert
I think
exert
it
that
feels
power?
great.
I'll give you a very simple answer, very quick. That the difference here when we perform live is we not only perform our own music, but we sing our own music as well. And every note, every tune, every composition is ours. Even the programming, the arrangement, the band playing every chord change and everything is all ours. So the joy there is something else. Even though if I'm singing, let's say for example, and there's a moment when I'm not singing, where there's an interlude or Suleiman's playing or whatever, I'm enjoying that to the fullest, not thinking of my next line because it's the music we made. So the satisfaction is the celebration and the satisfaction is incredible, and that comes across with the audience, because they feel that, they see that. It's not just songs which are popular which we are singing. It's songs which are ours, which we are singing and performing. So it's a very different kind of a.
And the beauty is because we also produce our own music, every single part that has gone into it is something that we remember by heart. It's something that we've put in ourselves, and so it's that the joy is completely different when people go crazy when the first notes of Marjawa start.
Yeah.
It's just seeing people with their flashlights going up and suddenly ta-da-da, and people go crazy. So it's another world, another trip altogether. Short trip, 3 hours.
And when we walked in, we saw a very interesting cup essay which has your name on it. So how's your association with essay? Just on a fun side, like how do you like it and how?
See,
Same thing we do.
sorry, you asked for it.
Apart from those formal questions, like you play some instrument, I don't know what to call it. It's a percussion. Has some black kind of whatever, I don't know.
No, I like that. Go on.
I never searched it on Google,
It's
but
already very pornographic.
is it just a percussion or is it?
It's a very complicated yet simple instrument called the Zen drum.
Okay.
Z-E-N,
Yeah.
Z-E-N
Okay.
drum. And it's actually meant to be a drum,
Okay.
but you can actually play anything from it. It's a wireless MIDI controller
Okay.
which connects to my laptop wirelessly.
By Bluetooth?
Via wireless MIDI.
Wireless mic. Okay.
Yeah. So it's got a MIDI transmitter inside, which transmits MIDI information to a wireless device,
Okay.
which then goes into my laptop, and I have a contact running on laptop, which plays whatever instruments I want. So I could be playing like a sitar lick, or I could be playing drums, or I could be playing tabla, so I could be playing some percussion, so whatever. It's an open instrument.
Okay, I saw you playing that first time in Jima, I mean last year.
Yeah.
With the, and what's the message you wanna give to the whole audio industry and music directors?
And budding sound engineers, you know, we have a lot to look
My
forward to.
message to everyone has always been, you know, it's very easy to, be thinking like, oh, you know, I'm going to make my next song right now and this and that and, you know, whatever. And I'm going to do this and that and whatever. But it's very important to study. It's very important to learn first. You know, today things have become very, very simple to make. You can have Fruity Loops, you have Acid, you have Loop Browser on Logic and so on and so forth. And it's so easy to kind of, you know, put a couple of loops together, put a nice guitar riff, pick up a nice piano chord and make a song. But if you understand music, to study music, to learn changes, pick your best song, figure out, learn music is the key. And then, you know, then if things go wrong, if you still don't make it as a career, it's very important to keep believing in the joy of knowing what you have, which is your knowledge. Remember, knowledge is power. And knowledge is something which no one can take away from you anytime. So it's important to get that knowledge. You know, you're not going to be sitting in your house, in your room, and thinking that it's going to happen. Actually, it can happen to you. You can go on YouTube, there's so much nowadays on internet. There's so much to learn. So it's important to learn. And of course, later on to believe after you learn. But just by, you know, putting things together on a machine, by a loop or this and that, and thinking like you're the shit, it's never going to happen. Never. It's going to be short-lived. You have to learn. And knowledge is the key. That's it.
Okay, so are we done with the question?